So now that we've discussed transport assurance and where it would apply to you and what sort of decisions that you need to make, whether that applies to your business or not, or whether it's worth even covering your goods. You also need to be aware that there are goods that cannot be covered no matter what, and you need to think about it. So if you're a electronics refurbisher and you're resending televisions, then that is a very grey area, because only new would be covered in transit. How does this apply? So there are things that you need to consider. You need to consider what the goods are. Might be a great product and you might lose 1 in 50, then that probably isn't such a bad thing. You need to think about it. What other things can't be covered in transit? Well, we're going to talk, as we get through this series, a lot of these we're going to talk in depth on and show you the reasons why, how you need to pack certain items and stuff like that. But there are a list of items on our website that we can't cover. Personal items is one. We can't put a dollar value on your personal items. You need to always prove the amount that you've paid or sold the goods for, and it's always the wholesale value if possible. An eBay or PayPal receipt, if it's an eBay sale, would cover the goods in transit for what you sold them for. If you're a power seller on eBay, then you just need to produce a wholesale value. That's what we'll cover it for if you've covered the goods. You need to have all these things. You can't sell a used item and tell us that it's worth, that you sold it for $90, but if you were to buy it it's new, it's worth $1,000. It's only covered for what you've paid for it, and if you paid $90 for it, it's under the $100 excess, and you wouldn't be covered anyway. There are lots of pitfalls. It's very confusing. So you need to make sure that you've read the terms and conditions, that you understand them, that you have everything ready and completely comply with so as when you have it, this is transport. Things do go wrong. So when you need to make a cover, you want to make sure that you are completely covered, and we're not going to come back to you and say, sorry, we can't cover it on this time. If somebody's goods complain to you that their goods are damaged, it has to be within a timely manner. Really, 24 hours. If somebody's delivered their goods, they can't come 2 weeks later and say, my $5,000 TV is damaged. We need to know straight away, because you have to prove that it was damaged upon delivery and not damaged after delivery when they unpacked it. These are really important things, because the onus of proof is on us and yourself to prove that this is the case. So a delay in letting us know just causes huge problems, and ones that may be big hurdles that we can't cross. So again, if you're choosing to cover your goods in transit, then make sure that you've got everything covered. And I would highly recommend that if you're choosing to cover your goods in transit, then it is a receipted delivery, not an ATL, because once they're delivered to the door, we've got no way of knowing if they were damaged upon delivery or not. You want somebody to inspect, to sign for them, because it can really let you off the hook. The other thing you really need to understand is that on our labels, it says, if they've signed for the goods, they've signed for it and accepted the goods in good order. If there is any doubt that the goods aren't in good order, then they need to sign for the goods pending inspection, because that means that they're literally saying, I will inspect these goods, they may not be in good order. If this is not the case, then again, you're treading in troubled waters. You need to make sure that this is good, that your customer understands that they need to sign for the goods. If there's any damage to the package, it's got a hole in it, anything that they notice, they don't have to take it out in front of the driver, but they do need to say that they're signing for it pending inspection. It's very important, because it allows them to come back. If they don't, they may not get a comeback, and then they've got a damaged item which may reflect on your business badly. There's a lot to think about.